Today we're talking about the truth about online dating. If you guys didn't know this, the vast majority of relationships are happening online. People are no longer meeting in person, and there's so much that we can cover through online dating, the truth about it. We're not going to go into every little aspect of it, but essentially I'm going to go over the things that I think are important. I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of my own personal experience and also what I've been learning about online dating as well. Quick little shout out all to my returning viewers, returning subscribers. I do appreciate you guys clicking back at another video, but let's go ahead and dive right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is going to be pretty much the vast majority of relationships are happening online, which if you guys haven't used a dating app or anything like that, well, that's where a lot of people, they pretty much judge you based off your pictures, and then you end up, eventually you just start texting and you could possibly end up with a date. But the thing with online dating is you never know exactly who you're meeting. Of course, that could be the same with whoever you meet with in person. You know, there's so many things. It's a little bit of a touchy subject just because there's so many things that you can cover on this and different perspectives on it. But from my perspective, I met my girlfriend through a dating app, and before I met her, I ended up hanging out with other chicks and all that. And some of those other chicks that I ended up meeting, well, the thing that I noticed is a lot of them were not my type. They weren't my type, how can I say it, emotionally, psychologically. We just weren't a good match. But being with my girlfriend now, currently, I noticed we have a lot in common, a lot of interests that are pretty similar. Not too much that are similar, but enough to make it interesting, where she's always down to just go and do whatever hobbies or activities that I want to do. But the thing with online dating I want to cover is essentially it's really difficult coming from a perspective of a man, just because essentially, if you don't realize this, with the online dating, women have tons and tons of opportunities. They have tons of options out there, that essentially there's more guys out there that are looking for relationships and all that, and it becomes really difficult to find a relationship or find a woman that is actually interested in you. That's why I'm always promoting on my YouTube channel that you guys work out, just because that sets you aside from the vast majority of people, or the vast majority of guys. You look at just today's generation, go to the store, go to the supermarket, wherever it is, you're going to notice a lot of people, they're out of shape, they're not working out, they don't really care about their physique. We live in a generation where essentially it's hey, promote body positivity no matter how you look. And of course I understand the importance of that, but the thing is, there's a lot of health concerns with that. It's something that you go back in the day, it's not really natural. It's something that it typically wasn't the normal, and in my opinion, it's unhealthy. And there's studies out there that are done that show that if you're out of shape, your chances of having unhealthy things are really increased, and that's something that's not really good. So that's why I'm always promoting on my channel. You guys work out, you start increasing your looks, you start making yourself feel confident as well. And that's something that I noticed within myself, that I noticed that once I started putting on the muscle, I started feeling attractive. And on top of that, once you start feeling attractive, you're going to start displaying it. You're going to start recognizing, hey, certain type of people are attracted to you. And I talked about this on my channel as well, is essentially the more attractive you are, the more opportunities present. So a lot of doors open. So when you start increasing that looks, you're going to start increasing opportunities. You're going to have women interested in you. There's studies that are done that people are more attractive, they have better jobs, better salaries, and honestly, it's just everything across the board. Everybody treats you a whole lot better. So me, when I started increasing my looks, I noticed women just, they smile at you a whole lot more. They're actually more friendlier. People treat you a whole lot differently if you're attractive to versus unattractive. Coming from the unattractive part, I noticed the difference, and that's why I recommend you guys become attractive. It's not that hard. Just look at your vast majority of people. It's not that hard to separate yourself from the vast majority of people. Anyways, going back to the online dating. So you start increasing your looks. you're going to start noticing that essentially you're going to get more matches on the online dating if you guys are searching for relationships or whatever it is. I did do a little poll on my YouTube channel of, are you guys looking for relationships, or are you guys choosing to be single? And I listed some options here. I'm gonna actually pull it up real quick on my phone just so I can give you guys the percentages, which it kind of showed that a good chunk of men aren't really looking for relationships. Of course, I think my channel is more in the, self improvement category, which I could be wrong, but I put on this poll, are you single by choice? Yes, I choose to remain single, and that percentage was 46%. The next option I had, no, I haven't been given a chance, and that was 37%. So that's really kind of shocking that the vast majority of men, they haven't really been given a chance for a relationship. I'm assuming probably dating just in general, and that's why we're covering the subject here today about online dating. So you have to separate yourself from the competition. You have to put your best photos out there. I forgot which site there is, but essentially you can choose some photos and people will essentially rate them like, hey, they're good or they're bad. I forgot the name of it. If I do remember, I'll probably throw it in the description, but I'm gonna probably forget about it. But essentially, once you start increasing your looks, you're going to be taking good photos for your profile pictures if you guys are choosing to go out there and looking for dates and all that. For those of you guys, there's a good percentage of you guys that didn't want any relationships or even dating, and this is something I've been noticing, that men are more than likely to just do their own thing. They're no longer focusing on dates or relationships, which at the end of the day, you got to do whatever is best for you and what makes you happy. So this is something that I noticed. Like you look at a lot of these like channels that essentially promote dating, or they give you dating advice. This is something that I noticed as well. Those YouTube videos that they ended up making. So I think one of them was How to Beast or whatever. And this is something that I noticed. Like he started making videos about how to cold approach, and see, I started watching videos like that of like, you know, this is how you approach women and stuff of that sort. And those were the types of videos that he was making, let's see, I'm gonna say back in 2019, because essentially, going based off my own personal experience, all my relationships have been online. Yeah, even my first relationship, I mean, we went to the same school, but she still started texting me. We had the same class together, but essentially all the women that have came across have been through online dating. But going back to with How to Beast, back in 2019, because that's when my first relationship ended, that was a 5-year one. Essentially, I started learning, oh, this is how like you cold approach, and this is how you talk to women in person. And so I was kind of looking at like those type of dating advice videos. But now I see How to Beast, like just see what kind of content he's making. I don't really watch him anymore. I have different priorities. My priorities have shifted, they have changed, and I have become, how can I say it, a little bit more knowledgeable, going based off my own personal experience, all the things I have learned and experienced. Essentially, I noticed that How to Beast, his videos have really shifted. They're kind of showing like the modern day man, kind of the issues that he's running into, like modern relationships. Like it's really hard for men just out there to find relationships. I think like if I was to go based off of these, going based off of my own poll, so yes, I choose to remain single. I'm kind of curious if those guys were given chances and all that. I'm assuming those guys were probably interested at one point in relationships and all that, but then they probably just got discouraged, or they realized, you know, I could spend my time better elsewhere. And so that's my opinion, just going based off of my take, going based off of today's generation. The videos that are kind of promoted, hey, you need to focus on yourself, you need to make money, you need to do something productive, whatever it is. So I think that kind of shows that 46%. But the 37% that no, I haven't been given a chance, that's still a pretty big number. That's about a third of people. Of course, my channel is still a little bit small. Eventually, I would like to get a bigger poll once I get more subscribers and all that. But let's say about a third of men haven't been given a chance on dating and all that. That kind of shows you a little bit with the online dating, just because, like, if you know how online dating works, a lot of people, they judge you based off your photo and based off of what you present. And then on top of that, you have to learn how to text and all that and keep the conversation going. And going based off my own personal experiences, I'm the type of person, I'm like, I just want to keep the conversation like polite. Hi, how's it going? Which is a little bit boring, a little bit plain, but essentially you find somebody that has the same, how can I say it, interest or attitude towards, like they're pretty similar in common with you. And that's how you can find out, oh, okay, this person and I vibe pretty well together. And essentially with my girlfriend, that's the way how I texted her, was essentially, I just kept it simple. I text the way how I normally text. If it worked out, it worked out. If it didn't, it didn't. Which in this case, it did work out, because I've been with her for, I think, like a year and 2-3 months roughly. Hopefully that goes on for a really good while, or it lasts, for the long run, but only time will tell. But overall, with online dating, I think if you're dating as a man, it's really difficult. You have a lot of things that are going to come into factor. I'm not going to name every single little thing. I'm just trying to give you guys the general concept of all the things that I've noticed, what I come across. And so essentially, in my experience, online dating back in the day was a little bit easier. Now it feels like it's really difficult. But then again, I haven't been dating for a year and some, so I can't really give you guys currently up to date. I think I'm pretty close than some other people out here sharing their own personal experiences and all that. Hopefully you guys understand that you need to set yourself aside and make yourself better than the vast majority of people. You have to spend the time and think about it. Oh, okay, do you want to date or do you not want to date? The choice is yours on whether or not what you want to do. You guys have to decide at the end. Just realize that if you do plan on dating, be in the best possible position you can be. Like me, I realized I needed to work on my looks, because essentially I want the person that I'm dating, I want them to see that, hey, I'm a catch. And at the end of the day, they're happy, because there's so many people out there that we kind of live in a generation where we're always looking for something a little bit better. You want the best that you can get. You look at things just in general, like materialistic things. You can get the basic version or you could get the premium version. And if I had a choice, I'd rather be that premium version. I'd rather be, the luxury item. So anyways, guys, shorter video. Sorry it took a little bit longer than expected. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and comment down below, hey, make another video part 2 or whatever it is. Make something a little bit related, and just comment what you want to see me create. I'll try creating a subject on it. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have